wireless. My mother's brother, my Uncle Jack, returned home from Africa for the first time ever. For 25 years he'd worked in a leper colony there, in a remote village in Ruyanga, in Uganda. The only time he left that village was for about 6 months, during World War I, when he was a chaplain to the British forces in East Africa. Then back again to the grim hospice, where he worked for a further 18 years without a break. And now, in his early 50s, and in Bedhill, he had returned home to Ballybay. As it turned out, to die. So when I cast my mind back to the summer of 1936, these two memories of our first wireless and of Father Jack's return are always linked. So that I recall my first shock at Jack's appearance, shrunken and jaundiced with malaria. At the same time, I remember my first delight, indeed my awe, at the sheer magic of that radio. And I remember the kitchen throbbing with the beat of Irish dancing.
Turn on, Mark, only Christy.
I've told you a dozen times, Rosie, the battery's gone in it.
It is not. It worked for me a while ago. A little bird. See? Oh, that takes up Rosie. Ha! Told you. That old thing's useless.
The key shall have a new battery back for sure.
If it's the battery that's gone in it. Is Athea Africa?
Yes.
And is there a war there?
Yes, I've told you that now, Rosie.
But that's not where Father Jack was, is it?
No, Jack was in Uganda, Rosie. No, that's a different part of Africa. But you know that.
Yeah. I do. I know that.
Will you vote for De Valera? Will you vote? If you don't like, then you will his vote. On the bed from Malta lads has a wireless up his vote. Will you vote for De Valera? Will you vote? You know something, Rosie? The pair of us should be on stage.
The pair of us should be on stage, Aggie. We're all jealous of me. He calls me his rosebud, and he waited for me outside the chocolate gate last Christmas morning, and he gave me this, Aggie.
Isn't it fish, Rosie?
Isn't it lovely? It's made of pure silver, and it brings you good luck.
Ah, she's lovely.
I wear it all the time beside my miraculous medal. I love him, Aggie.
I know.
My bastard.
Summertime is nearly over. Blue Italian sky up above. I say, mister, I'm your rover. Can't you spare a sweet word of love? Chug, 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 chug. Chug, 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 chug. Chuggy! Do you know what's wrong with you, Cup? You're buck stupid.
Look out, there's a rat.
Where is Mary Goldie? Where is it?
I've caught you again, Aunt Maggie.
God forgive you, evil wee brat. I won't forget that, Michael. Don't you worry, I won't forget that. And I had a barley sweet sugar for you.
And were there bits of cigarette tobacco stuck to it?
Jesus, Mary and George, but someday you're going to feel some woman's life full of happiness. Joke, 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 joke. Here, did I make chalk? No. Joke, joke, joke.
When I saw Uncle Jack for the first time, the reason I was so shocked by his appearance was, well, I suppose I expected the hero from a schoolboy's book. Once I had seen a photograph of him, radiant and splendid, in his officer's uniform. It had fallen from Aunt Kate's prayer book, but she had snatched it from me before I had the chance to study it in detail. It was a picture taken in 1917, when he was a chaplain to the British forces in East Africa, and he looked magnificent. But Aunt Kate, she had been involved locally in the War of Independence, so Father Jack's brief career in the British Army was never referred to in that house. All the same, the picture of Father Jack was the image that was lodged in my mind. But if he was a hero to me, he was a hero and a saint to my mother and to my aunts. They pored over his occasional letters.
That's it. Look, Kate. And this is Father Jack's home. And we must never forget that, ever. No, we're going to no harvest dance.
But Kate, you just said...
And the matter is over. the end of it.
The fox is back.
Did you see him?
He's a whole chewed in the hen-house door.
Did you get a look at him, Aunt Maggie?
Sure wasn't I talking to him? And wasn't he asking for you?
What's that you have in your hands?
Something I found.
What?
Sitting very still at the foot of the holly tree.
Show me.
Say please 3 times.
Please, please, please.
In Swahili.
Are you going to show it to me or are you not?
Okay, Cup. Come over here. Put your ear up there. That's it. Listen. Shh. Do you hear it?
I think so, yes.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure, Aunt Maggie. Show me.
Right. Are you ready? Get back a bit. A bit further back. Right? Ready?
Yes. What was it?
Did you see it?
I think so, yes.
Wasn't it wonderful?
Was it a bird?
The colours are so beautiful. Trouble is, you only get one quick glimpse. And if you miss that, that's it.
Watch out, she's in one of her cranky moods. You'll tend all wood by Maggie.
Oh, great. The tongue's out a mile.
You missed it all, Maggie.
What did I miss this time?
We were all going to the harvest stand, like the old days, and then
Your shoes rose. The shoemaker says whatever kind of feet you have, only the insides of the soles wear down.
is that a bad thing?
Well, it is neither a bad thing nor a good thing, Rose. It's just distinctive, as might be expected.
Cornflower, sole,
Come here.
Absolutely gorgeous. The figure of a girl of 18, dressed to kill from head to toe, and the hair as black and as curly as the day she left.
Bernard Donald. Oh my goodness.
And beside her, 2 of the most beautiful children you've ever laid eyes on. Twins. They'll be 14 next month. Oh, and to see the 3 of them together, like sisters, I'm telling you.
Twin girls.
Identical.
gramophones were finished. But they were wrong, Chrissy. I'll tell you why they were wrong. In my experience, and George looks now, but he's watching us from behind that bush.
Michael?
Oh no, just act normally. Pretend you don't see him. This all his stuff.
He's making kites, if you don't mind.
Unbelievable. You know, I got a glimpse of him at the foot of the lane. He's just enormous, Chrissy.
He's at school now, you know, Jerry.
Really? Since when?
Last Easter, Kate got him in early.
Wow, wow, wow. Does he like it?
Here, he doesn't say much about it, really.
Oh, he loves it. He adores it. They all love school these days. Oh, he'll be brilliant at it. Actually, I meant...
And this is,
Christina.
forgive me, Chris. You were only a baby when I went away. And I remember Mother lifting you up when the train was pulling out of the station and catching your hand and waving it at me. And you were so young, you scarcely had any hair, but she had managed to attach a tiny pink bow, just about there. And when you raised your hand to wave at me, the bow fell off. It's like a picture, a camera picture. It's like a photograph. It's like a photograph in my mind.
Well, I'll tell you something, Jack. The hair is much better now.
And you were crying, Margaret,
Was I?
and your face was all blotchy from the tears.
Oh, to be sure, beautiful as ever.
And Agnes, you and Kate were on Mother's right, and Rose was between you, and you each had a hand. And Mother's face, I remember, it showed nothing. I often wondered about that afterwards.
That's because she knew she'd never...
In coloured powder, and we sing local songs and drink palm wine, and then dance and dance and dance. Men, women, children, mostly lepers, some with misshapen limbs, or some without limbs, dancing, believe it or not, for days on end. It's the most wonderful sight you have ever seen. And that palm wine, the poured out in large horns, and you lose all sense of time. Oh, what brought all that on? You'll have to stop me telling these long-winded stories. Anyhow, exercise time, back in 10 minutes. And Kate, to think that last week it was taking me a half hour to do number 4. So thank you for nagging at me.
I told you. You wouldn't believe me. I told you. What do you think?
Well, he's not back a month yet.
Yesterday I heard about the medicine man who brought a woman back from death.
Yeah, but he needs more time.
And this morning it was the spirits of the tribe. And when I asked him about Mass, you saw how he dodged around.
Well, he did say he'd say Mass next Monday, Kate.
No, he won't. You know he won't, Maggie. He's changed.
Well, in another month he'll be...
Completely changed. He's not our Jack at all. And it's what he's changed into that frightens me.
Well, it doesn't frighten me.
If you saw your face, of course it does. Oh, dear God.
Having a sort of a military hat. Was this little chap who spoke in an accent I could hardly understand. Naturally, I thought he was Spanish. From our house, it turned out.
I'm sure he couldn't understand you either.
Well, he described himself as a recruiting officer. Take it from me, comrade. Nobody joins the brigade without my approval.
Tis a wonder so they accepted you.
Do you pledge your full endeavours, your loyalty and your allegiance to the Popular Front?
What's the Popular Front?
Well, that's the Spanish government I'm going to keep in power. I take it you're a syndicalist? No. An anarchist? No. A communist? No. A Republican, a socialist, a Marxist? No. Do you speak Spanish? No. And you make explosives? No. And you ride a motorbike? Oh, yes. Sign here. You're in.
Let me get this straight, so Jerry. You are going to be a dispatch rider. And you're going to leave on Saturday.
First time.
How long will you be away?
As long as it takes to sort the place out.
Seriously, Jerry.
Just a few months at the most, Chrissy. Everybody says it will be over by Christmas.
They always say it'll be over by to Lughnasa. Yes. Did you meet somebody there? Yes. How do you arrange to meet somebody there? I can arrange to meet Danny Bradley there, Kate. He took me out his father's blue boat. I don't want anything to eat, Maggie. I took a bottle of milk with me, and a packet of chocolate biscuits, and we had a picnic beside the lake. Then we went up to the back hills. He showed me what was left of the Lughnasa fires. A few of them are still burning way up there. Then we passed him Sweeney's house. You know the boy that got burnt? The boy that you said was dying. Well, he's on the mend. Daddy says his legs will be scarred, but he'll be all right. It's such a peaceful place up there in the back hills. There was nobody there at all, but myself and Danny. He calls me his rosebud. I told you that before, didn't I, Aggie? And then we walked down as far as the workhouse, and I came home by myself. And that's all I know.
Lessons in Ballybeg?
That's all they need now in Ballybeg, Jerry.
Maybe it is. There she is, back safe and sound.
Oh, I wish I could dance like you, Aggie.
You're shutting to breath now after that.
Doesn't she dance elegantly?
Our Aggie always did.
Now, Chrissy, you and I.
Not now, Jerry.
Oh, come on, Chrissy, once around the floor.
Not now, I said. Are you kick?
I dance with you, Jerry. Come on. Do you want to see class, Jerry?
I certainly do, Maggie.
Get back, girls. A jelly temple needs a lot of space. Hold on tight now, Jerry.
You know, little times and lips and stuff and what's no dawn.
That's something chocolate, but now God knows, everything knows.
Oh, Oh, that's a promise, Maggie, that's a promise. It's not a bad set, that.
Thanks be to goodness for that. You know what that thing has done? Killed all Christian conversation in this country. Vera McLaughlin is coming here tomorrow, and she wants to talk to you and Rose.
What's about?
I didn't tell you, did I? Her daughter's got engaged.
Which one?
Oh, the harvest dance is going to be just supreme this year, Miss Monday. That little brat.
Sophia.
Oh, what it is, Jack.
But it is splendid, isn't it? At least it was splendid. A cow keeps dressing up in it. I really should give it to him to keep.
It's not at all suitable for this climate, Jack.
I know, Kate, but just for the exchange, I'll change back afterwards. Now, at home, what we do, when we have a swap or a barter, I place my possession on the ground, like that.
Day of it. And after a few years of doing nothing, Aunt Kate got the job of tutoring the young family of Austin Morgan from the arcade. But much of the spirit and fun had gone out of their lives. And when my time came to go away, in the selfish way of young men, I was happy to escape. And so, when I cast my mind back to the summer of 1936, different memories offer themselves to me. But there is one memory of that Lughnasa time that visits me most often. And what fascinates me about that memory is that it owes nothing to fact. In that memory, atmosphere is more real than incident, and everything is simultaneously actual and illustrated.